Neville Goddard reveals something most people spend their entire lives overlooking. The true master of reality is not the world outside you, it is the world within you. And if you listen closely, if you dare to let these next moments sink beneath the surface of thought and into the depth of your being, you will feel something ancient awakening. The quiet realization that imagination creates reality, that consciousness selects experience, that you are not waiting for life, life is waiting for you. Imagine this: every desire you hold, every longing that rises from the depths of your soul is not a wish for a distant future. It is a memory of who you are already becoming, a message from your higher self. Walk this way, become this now. But most people live as though reality is fixed, as though life is something that happens to them. They wait for signs, they wait for permission, they wait for circumstances to change. They say, one day, when things finally shift, I will step into my purpose. They spend years waiting for the right moment, not realizing the right moment is always the moment they finally decide. So before we go deeper, pause and ask yourself something honest. What is the one desire, the one dream, the one shift you have been postponing, even though some part of you knows it is the very thing calling you forward? Tell me in the comments, not as a routine engagement, but as a declaration of your own awakening. What is the desire you've been waiting on, even though you know it has been waiting on you? Say it, name it. Your transformation begins the moment you recognize the dream, not as something distant, but as something already alive within you. Because this is the truth Neville Goddard reveals. The world you see with your eyes is not the cause of your experience. It is the effect, a mirror, a shadow, a reflection of the state you occupy within. Reality bends not to desire, not to effort, not to time, but to assumption. And assumption begins with identity. You become the master of reality not by pushing the world around you, not by forcing outcomes with strain or stress, but by stepping into a new self-concept, a new inner stance, and letting the world rearrange itself in response. Everything begins with who you are being, not who you are trying to be, not who you are preparing to be, not who you hope to be someday, who you assume yourself to be now. This is why imagination is the real creative power. It does not wait for evidence. It does not ask for permission. It sees the invisible, feels it, claims it, and becomes it, long before the world catches up. Close your eyes for a moment and feel this. There is a version of you who already lives your desired life. This version breathes differently, thinks differently, walks differently. They are not hoping for their dream, they are living from the certainty of its fulfillment. They do not question whether they are worthy. They know they are chosen. They do not wait for circumstances to align. They align themselves with the reality they have selected. That version of you exists now, not metaphorically, not symbolically. Now, in consciousness. And this is the mystery Neville Goddard reveals. All states exist. You step into them by feeling them to be true, not wishing, not begging, not bargaining. Feeling. Because feeling is the secret. Feeling is the bridge. Feeling is the language of creation. Whatever you feel as true becomes the blueprint your reality must follow. So ask yourself, what feeling are you loyal to? What state have you been unconsciously returning to day after day? Not what you say you want, but what you feel to be true when nobody is listening. Because your inner conversation is your prayer, and your prayer is always answered. When you tell yourself silently, I don't have enough, I'm still waiting, it's not my time, I'm not ready, I don't know how. You are not describing your life. You are creating the next chapter of it. But something is shifting in you now. You wouldn't be here if it wasn't. You wouldn't be listening to these words if a deeper part of you wasn't ready to rise. You can feel it. That quiet stirring, that inner knowing, that subtle but unmistakable pull. Something inside you is remembering the truth. You are not here to react. You are here to create. You are not meant to live by appearances. You are meant to live by imagination. You are not waiting for your life to begin. Your life is waiting for you to assume the state from which it can begin. Think of the life you desire, not lightly, not vaguely. Let it take shape within you. Let it live behind your ribs, in your breath, in your inner vision. Feel it in that silent place where the world cannot interfere. Now ask yourself, if this were already mine, how would I feel? This is the question that begins transformation. Not how will it happen, not when will it come, not what do I need to do next. Those are the questions of the old self, the self who still believes reality is outside in. But you are awakening to the truth that reality is inside out. And so the only question that matters now is the one that changes everything. What would I feel if it were done? Feel that. Enter that. Step into that. Because the moment you feel from the end, the moment you assume the identity of the one who already has, your reality begins to reorganize itself. Events shift. People appear. Opportunities reveal themselves. Paths clear. Doors open. And it all begins invisibly, in the unseen realm of imagination, long before you ever see it with your eyes. This is why Neville said, "You do not attract what you want. You attract what you assume." Assumption is not pretending. Assumption is not mental effort. Assumption is not false optimism. Assumption is identity. It is the quiet, steady, inner knowing that says, because I have accepted this within, it must appear without. And once you accept this truth, your relationship with reality changes forever. You no longer take circumstances as final. You no longer let your senses dictate your mood. You no longer beg life to shift. You assume the shift, and life obeys. This is why the senses cannot be trusted. They only show you the echo of past assumptions. They cannot show you what is becoming, only what has been. But imagination reveals what is possible. It reveals the next version of you. It reveals the path forward. It reveals the life that is waiting for you to choose it. You become the master of reality by choosing the inner state from which you live, again and again, until that inner state becomes your natural home. This is how you collapse time. This is how you dissolve doubt. This is how you override all appearances. This is how you rise. Your desire is not outside you. Your desire is not in the future. Your desire is not a distant outcome you must chase. Your desire is your future self calling you to remember who you are. You feel drawn to that life because that life is already yours in consciousness. What you call desire is not longing. It is alignment. It is the higher self. This is the next version of you. Step into it. Every desire is an invitation to awaken. Every longing is a message from the deeper self. Every dream is a memory of what is already true. And once you understand this, once you feel this, once you assume this, you step into a new timeline, a new identity, a new world. Before we continue, if something in you is rising right now, if you are feeling ready to not just understand this law, but live it every single day, then consider this your sign. Join the 21-day challenge to create your dream life. It's designed for those who are ready to practice the law deliberately, to stabilize the fulfilled state, to recondition the inner self, to step daily into the version of you who already has. The link is below. But for now, breathe. Let these next words sink deeper. Because where we are about to go, this is where the shift becomes permanent. This is where you stop wishing. This is where you stop hoping. This is where you stop waiting. And this is where you begin the quiet, powerful ascent into the self that already knows, I am. What you are seeking is not ahead of you, it is within you. And the moment you choose to feel its reality, your world begins to move in ways the old you could never have imagined. Everything shifts the moment you do, and you are shifting now. Ascension begins the moment you stop looking for change in the world and start creating change in yourself. It begins when you say, with quiet conviction, I no longer accept the old story as my truth. It begins when you release the identity that kept you small and step into the version of you that life has been calling forth all along. You will know this moment when it arrives. It will not come with dramatic fireworks or lightning in the sky. It will come as a subtle shift, a calm certainty, an inner yes. The moment you decide, truly decide, that you are now the one who has, the atmosphere around you changes. Not because the external conditions have shifted yet, but because you have shifted. Your feeling, your state, your identity, the axis around which your entire world rotates, moves into alignment with your chosen end. This is the unseen moment the universe responds to. This is the moment where the old timeline dissolves and a new one begins. This is the moment when reality bends, because the world does not change first. You change first, and the world has no choice but to reflect that change. Every assumption is a command. Every feeling is a blueprint. Every inner conversation is an instruction whispered into the fabric of reality. When you say inwardly, I am not enough, I don't know how, I'm still waiting, your world mirrors it. But when you claim inwardly, I am already the one I desire to be, I am living from the fulfillment, I am chosen, guided, aligned, then your world shifts elegantly, precisely, inevitably. What seems like coincidence is law. What seems like luck is alignment. What seems like a miracle is imagination becoming reality. You do not need to force this. You do not need to push life into place. You only need to remain loyal to the state you have chosen. This is where people break the magic, not because the law fails, but because they abandon the new state too quickly. They assume the state once, feel it briefly, then look around and say, but nothing has changed yet. And in that moment, they slip back into the old identity, the old reality, the old pattern. But you are learning to persist, not with strain, but with certainty, not with effort, but with conviction, not with repetition, but with residence. You do not visit your desired state, you dwell in it. You let it become your home. You let it color your thoughts. You let it anchor your emotions. You let it become the lens through which you interpret everything. Whatever happens around you, good or bad, you respond from the fulfilled state, not the waiting one. If something goes wrong, you do not panic. You do not say, "It's not working." You do not abandon your assumption. Instead, you breathe and you say, "This does not change my end. My assumption remains. My world is catching up." Because you are no longer living according to appearances, you are living according to truth. And the truth is simple, eternal, and unbreakable. Imagination creates reality. The outer world is an echo. The inner world is the cause. This is the moment you become the master of reality, not because you have gained control over everything outside you, but because you have gained sovereignty over everything within you. You stop reacting and start selecting. You stop waiting and start assuming. You stop seeking and start being. You understand, as Neville taught, that all states exist and you are free to enter any of them at any time. The version of you who is wealthy exists now. The version of you who is loved exists now. The version of you who is confident, peaceful, fulfilled, successful, all of them exist now. You do not create them, you choose them, and you enter them by feeling. The feeling of the wish fulfilled is the door through which your future walks into your present. So ask yourself gently, what would I feel if I were already living the life I desire? Not in imagination alone, but in conviction. Feel that, return to it, live in it. Let that feeling become your identity. Because once you stabilize the feeling, once you persist in it long enough to make it familiar, natural, effortless, the world must follow. It cannot resist the assumption you have claimed. It must confirm the identity you have embraced. It must reflect the state you have sustained. This is not magic, this is law. Everything in your life, every opportunity, every challenge, every relationship, every event reorganizes itself around the center of who you believe yourself to be. Your identity is your instruction to the universe, and identity is chosen, not inherited. So choose now. Choose the version of you that knows. Choose the version of you that feels. Choose the version of you that assumes. Think of your desire again, clearly, vividly, lovingly. Now imagine yourself living it, not watching it, not observing it, being the one for whom it is normal. How do you walk in that life? How do you speak in that life? How do you think when everything you wanted is already yours? How do you breathe when the weight has lifted, the dream has manifested, the fulfillment is complete? Feel it, not as a performance, as truth, because it is truth. Your desire is not a promise of what might be, it is a revelation of what already is, seen from within time. This is why Neville said, "You are already that which you want to be." You are not becoming it, you are remembering it. You are aligning with the version of you that has always existed in consciousness. You are stepping into the state that has always been available. You are selecting the reality that has always been yours. And once you select it fully, once you inhabit it deeply, once you feel it so sincerely that it becomes more real to you than your senses, the world shifts. It must shift. It cannot resist your inner authority. This is the point where your old life begins to loosen. People may behave differently. Opportunities may arise unexpectedly. Paths may open where you once saw none. And you will not be surprised. You will simply say, "Of course, this is the world that matches my new identity." Others may call it divine intervention. Others may call it luck, timing, coincidence, blessing. Let them. You will know the truth. It was your assumption that shaped the path. It was your inner state that commanded the outer world. It was your imagination, your divine instrument, that brought the invisible into form. This is mastery. Not force, not control, not manipulation. Mastery is calm. Mastery is quiet. Mastery is inner alignment. Mastery is walking in the world as though the promise is already fulfilled, because in consciousness it is. And now, as these words settle in you, you can feel it. Something has shifted. Something has opened. Something has awakened. You are not listening to this as the old self. You are listening as the one becoming aware of the truth. You are the operant power. Not someday, not when conditions improve, not when fear subsides, now. This moment is the seed of every future you can imagine. This breath is the beginning of your new timeline. This quiet inner yes is the doorway to all possibilities. You don't need more time. You don't need more evidence. You don't need more signs. You are the sign. You are the shift. You are the permission. You are the doorway through which your desire enters the world. Walk as if it is done. Think as if it is done. Feel as if it is done. And let the world catch up. Because it will. It always does. Not because you forced it. Not because you chased it. Not because you demanded it. But because you finally remembered who you are. The creator of states. The selector of timelines. The one whose imagination shapes the world. As you rise into this new identity, as you persist in this new state, as you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, watch how life unfolds. Watch how easily things come together. Watch how perfectly the pieces align. Watch how gracefully the bridges appear. Watch how the impossible becomes your new normal. And as you breathe, remember, you were never becoming, you were remembering. The dream continues inside you.